You're listening to the Habit Hacked Podcast, where you learn to mindfully leverage your habits to create the life you actually want. Get ready to elevate your vision, take real action, and reap the rewards. And now your hosts, Chad Fowers and Alex Engar.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Habit Hacked Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Once again, my name is Chad Fowers, and I am joined here with my co-host, Alex Engar.
Chad, I love being here with you. It's been a while since we've done an episode together with just you and I. Can't wait to get back to it, man.
It has been a while, and we've got a lot of exciting things to share. We've been through a lot, and we've experienced a lot, so we'll kind of dive into those as we go along. But today, specifically, we want to talk about making the decision. Honestly, a lot of people have big decisions to make in life that will determine where they end up. And I feel like that we've probably been in that decision-making process the last couple of months. And it's so fun to see where the decisions that we've made have led us to this point. I mean, to this recording, even the decisions that we've made have determined where we're at. And I guess you could say that the decisions that everyone makes every day they are the product of the decisions that they've made.
Yeah, that's completely right. And I think about over the past few months, you and I have made a bunch of decisions that have ended up, like you said, where we're at right now, recording this very episode. But I think about before that, how long I spent in this kind of analysis paralysis, right? Like you talk about. And it's just so easy to let yourself think that you're making progress by thinking about making a decision. And today we're about to change that. So in the next half hour, we're going to take you through actually deciding on something that you've been waffling about, on something that you've been thinking about doing and have been putting off because you're quote unquote making the decision or working through the process. We're going to take you from your vision that we talked about in episode 4 to taking the first action step of your plan that we talked about in episodes 2 and 3.
And one of the things that we want to help you to make a decision with is by going to our Facebook group, the Habit Hack Community. If you've listened to our episodes, we've told you about the community that we've created on Facebook, the Habit Hack Community, and we've invited you to look us up and request to join, to be a part of the community that is growing rapidly. We've had such a fun experience growing and networking with people that we didn't know before.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible what we've been able to do on that. And so the first decision that we want to help you make is by taking time right now to go to the Facebook group, request to join, and become part of the community so that we can grow together. We can help you with your goals, and we can share your successes together, and we can help each other grow in that community.
Yeah, I was looking through the group today, and I went through each individual and looked at them and thought about them and realized, holy cow, there's a lot of people in here, and there's a bunch of them I don't know. And it made me really excited. This thing is growing. There's momentum behind it. And as someone who's recently made a decision to start a podcast with you, Chad, it's really, really invigorating and just makes you feel so good about having taken action. I love it, and I hope that you'll join us in there if you haven't already. The next thing that we want to invite you to do is a little throwback to episode 2 and 3. Go get our goals worksheet. We've had people go pick that up at habithacked.com/goals and start filling out step by step how it is they're going to achieve the goal that they want to next. And that's going to be pretty key today in actually making this decision to act, is to have that plan in place. And we're going to get into that a little bit deeper today as we start to decide to just act.
And one final thing that we want you to do is to head on to iTunes. You're probably listening to on iTunes to this podcast, but if you aren't, then head over to iTunes and leave us a review and a rating. If you've liked what we've been able to produce here, if you like the content, we want to make sure that it's being shared and being presented to as many people as possible. So feel free to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. We would greatly appreciate it, and we'll work our best to keep on producing the content that'll help you to keep moving forward.
Yeah, seriously, that would mean a lot, you guys, if you jumped on there and gave us a quick review. It takes 2 to 3 minutes of your time, and it makes a really big impact. We read every single one of them, and we take the feedback that we get to heart. So thanks for doing that.
So I want to recap a little bit of our initial conversation on the start of this episode. And we mentioned that really the people that we've become and the people who we are today is based off of the decisions that we've made up to this point. And I think that's such a fascinating concept, because in order to, if we're not happy with where we're at today, it's based off of the previous decisions that we've made, right? But if we want to change and become something or someone different and improve our lives, it's literally a matter of decision making.
It is. And we want you to get clear in your head right now. Something that you've been putting off doing. I talked about this a minute ago. Choose that thing. Maybe it's proposing to the girl you want to marry. Maybe it's deciding to go off and start a YouTube channel. Maybe it's deciding to go shop for a house, for your first house. Maybe it's applying for a new job, right? A plethora of things. Pick that out in your mind. You know what it is. You know what you've been avoiding. Get that in your mind right now.
And something that I have been guilty of quite a bit in my life is letting outside circumstances affect the way that I make decisions. So there's 1,000,001 reasons why you could or could not make a decision to improve your life or to ask the person to marry you. And all of those decisions might be valid, but really what it comes down to is you. It really comes down to you making the decision. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop letting external sources control who you are and just make a decision. Make a decision to be who you want to be and go after what you want to go after.
The time to act is now. And it's not going to get any easier, I promise you. As I get older and I start checking things off my list that I've done and I think, oh good, now I'll have more time to do X. Like, I don't. It's not easier. It never gets easier. You have to start acting now. You're just losing out. And we're going to walk through today the 3 keys to making this decision. And over the next few minutes, you're going to make that decision and start acting on it.
And we're going to hold you to that. We really want
Yeah.
this to be the podcast that you look back on and say, that was the motivation that I needed to make the change in my life that I'm now currently living in. How cool is that? Like, you really have that opportunity to live the life that you want just as much as anyone out there that is living the life that they want. So let this be the day that you make the decision. We're going to share a few things, as Alex said, 3 specific things that will help you. The first thing that you need to start doing is to start acting. Start acting and moving forward. Take that 1 or 2 steps forward. A lot of the times in my life, as I've experienced kind of going after my goals, I don't know the end result. I don't know exactly how everything is going to play out as I go after my goal. And that's okay. The one thing that I do know is maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of where I'm at. And so if I can take those 1 or 2 steps ahead, that I'm confident in knowing what I need to do, then after that, things start coming into place. Things start opening up, and the vision of where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do to get to the next level opens up to us. A lot of times we hesitate acting because we can't see the full picture. And I don't know about you, Alex, but I didn't ever know how to start a podcast.
Nope.
Until we did it, right? And that's one key takeaway that we want to really emphasize is you're not going to know what to do until you actually do it.
Right. It's like fog. I'm sure we've all been in fog. If you're driving or walking in thick fog and you can't see 100 feet down the road, you think, how am I going to get there? Is there going to be a right turn or a left turn? Is there going to be traffic? Is there going to be a car stopped? Is it going to be open roads? You're not going to know until you push on the gas and start moving. Clarity comes by taking action. Clarity and confidence comes as you take the first step towards your destination.
I'm sure that a lot of you have probably heard the same thing that we've discussed up to this point. I think that it's something that's probably pretty familiar to a lot of people. But sometimes I just want to take you by that hand and be like, let's go, because I'm not perfect at it, but I've really seen a difference in my life as I've taken action, especially in the last couple of months here. I mean,
Definitely.
it's been exponential what I've learned and the experiences that I've had, and I'm sure Alex can agree as well. But it's one thing to say and it's one thing to hear, but if you start doing it, your life will change. Your life will become what you want it to become. And that's the whole point, right? We're not here to just accept everything that comes at us. We're here to create. We're here to make a difference and live the way we want to live.
I love that, Chad. And you know, if you're waiting on the path to become clear for you, it's just never going to happen. And if you're waiting for someone to tell you what to do next, well, then you're going to keep waiting forever. So right now we want to give you permission, and we're going to give you this permission throughout the episode. Make a choice and just go for it. You'll figure things out as you go. That's what we've done. The point of having a plan in place is to give you the initial spark to just start going down the path. Our plan has changed in the past 2 months. We had it decently planned out, and things change. Things come up. Obstacles come up. You can't plan for everything. We invited you to plan for everything in episode 3 when you wrote down on your goal sheet, but those obstacles may not come up. New ones might come. So you adjust. It's not the end of the world. It's really not.
That's so true.
I want you to think really quickly too. I love this analogy. Imagine that you have a fork in the road and you don't know whether you should go to the right or to the left. And I don't know about you, Chad, but if I'm in the middle of the desert, I want certainty. I want clarity about the choice I should make. The thing is, if you take a road, the only way to know if it's right, if you don't have a map in front of you, is to just start walking down it and see where it takes you. The beautiful thing about life is, unlike that road, if you end up down the way just a little bit and realize that it's not the right one, you start walking backwards, right? The great thing about life is you don't suddenly start over where you're at right now. If you make a decision and it turns out to not be the right one or doesn't happen exactly as you think it will, it's not that you have to start back over. You suddenly have this new wealth of experience, this new wealth of knowledge that you don't know when will come into play down the road that you'll actually need to have it. That's happened to me countless times. Do you know how many majors I had in school? 3. But you know what? I have actually used all of them in some degree. I ended up with 3 minors because of it. And you know what? It made me a really flexible candidate when I went to apply to graduate school. It made me be able to talk to any weather nerd about meteorology because I majored in that for a while. It made me comfortable speaking in Spanish to people because I majored in that for a little while. And then it made me really comfortable talking to people about biology because I majored in that too. And guess what? I'm all right with that. I came out just fine on the other end. Did I waste all of that time? Some people might say yeah. But guess what? I am that much more of a qualified person to get into physical therapy school because of that. And I did. Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have gotten into it if I hadn't, right? Taking a road gives you clarity about what you should do and if that was the right choice or not. Just make a decision. Start down that road and the clarity will come.
And I think that is the key takeaway. Just because something doesn't work out or something hasn't worked out in the past does not mean that you shouldn't try something new. Like Alex, I've done multiple network marketing adventures, multiple courses I've signed up for that I maybe haven't got the most benefit out of, and different things like that. And my tendency is to think, oh, well, when the next opportunity comes along, I'm not going to take it because of what's happened in the past. As long as we're living that kind of mindset, in that kind of mindset of looking to the past and bringing it to the future, life is just going to repeat itself over and over and over again. One of the analogies that we were talking about before this, recording this episode, is to kind of think of life as, or our mindset as a light switch, or a switch, I guess not a light switch, but a switch. And a lot of us tend to live with our switch to the past. We think of the past experiences and we bring those to the forefront of our minds, and then we determine, all of our choices are determined based off of the experiences we've had, which, I mean, that can come in handy if it's something that's harmful or something like that. Obviously, like we know the analogy, kids touch a stove that's hot once and then they don't touch it again. That's good. But if we can learn how to switch on, turn our switch to forward thinking and futuristic thinking, as far as our goals and what we want to accomplish and what we're capable of, then we can really start to create the life that we want. And that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of confidence and decision making, because obviously, like we've already talked about, we don't know what's in the future. We don't. That's unfamiliar. That's unknown. And our natural tendency is to shy away from the unknown. And so what we know has helped us to switch that forward is to start acting. And we've already talked about that, but start acting. Things will start coming into play. And as you start acting, ideas will come, inspiration will come, motivation, and you'll be able to reach the next level.
Yeah, there's something magical about flipping that switch. When Chad and I decided, let's start a podcast, we had no clue what we were doing. And I'll be honest, we're still learning, right?
Yeah.
But I am doing so many different positive things now because of that decision. I spend time in the morning. For example, today, I could not wait to wake up at 5 o'clock. I was like a kid on Christmas because I was ready to edit a video. That changed so much versus 5 months ago when I hated getting up early and it was terrible to wake up, right? When you start making those small decisions focused on your future and not on what you've accomplished in the past, suddenly life becomes a lot more fun and a lot more full of enjoyment.
So let's recap. So the first step, we kind of combined 2 steps without telling you that it was the second step. So that was my fault. So the first step is start acting. Start taking your first step today. And Alex already mentioned this, but we give you permission to do that. A lot of the times I've felt in my life that I'm waiting for permission to go after my goals and dreams. This is your permission. This is the most permission that you're going to receive, because it's not going to come anywhere else. The permission to start your goals and dreams has been granted to you, and it's your day to make the change. It really is your day, and you're not going to get any younger. You're not going to get any younger. And the best and the biggest gift that we have is time. We all have time, and we don't know when time is going to run out, and that's a whole nother topic, but it's your day today. So start acting today. That's step 1. Step 2 is creating a future-focused mindset. Change that switch to the future. If you've been thinking a lot of the past and what's happened in the past, and that's kept you from moving forward, time to make that switch. The way to make the switch so that you're focused on the future is to catch yourself. It's really a mindset. And those thoughts are going to come into your mind of the past and what's happened. It's all about bringing it to your conscious mind and telling yourself, that's the past. Today's a new day. Let's move forward. Every opportunity is available for me going forward.
Yeah. So that was number 2, staying focused on the future. Number 3 is something we've touched on and we really want to drive home. There's no such thing as failure. Okay? What there is learning. And we want you to start framing every experience that you have that doesn't go how you think it will, not as failure, but as an experience in learning. Something that adds to you rather than takes away from you. Now I get it. You can have things that go wrong and you feel like they were a failure. You feel like you tried something and it didn't work. What is that though? That's just a difference in expectation versus outcome. And all of that happens in your mind, right? Now, sure, maybe you entered a competition and you didn't win, but you wanted to. Are you now better at whatever it is you were competing at? Yes. Are you more prepared for the next time? Of course, right? It's pretty simple. If you frame it as learning, there is not failure. And if there is not failure, there's not fear of trying something that you might not have happen exactly how you expect it to. Start thinking of what your decision is as trying a path and as preparing yourself for your future. And then it's all just adding to you, right? Nothing is taken away because you tried something.
To go along with that, I mean, we've talked about this in episode 7 with our good friend Brendan Hufford, but life is not something that you just get handed a ticket to success and you get to experience the joys of reaching your goals without any effort, without any sweat and tears and struggle. It's something that really takes all of that. And the key difference between those people that succeed and those people that give up is not that the people that succeed had it easy. It's that the people that succeed have made the decision to, no matter what, reach their goal. Nothing in this life is impossible. Nothing. If you just look at history and where we've been and where we are now, we know that nothing is impossible. It might take a little while, but anything is possible. And those people that have made the biggest differences in the world and in history are the people that made the decision to carry out their goal until completion.
And the thing is, maybe something isn't possible in the way that you want to do it right now, but you're not going to know that until you do it. So everything is possible. It just might not happen in the way we expect it to. So if you're willing to try something and learn and try again and learn, that's refinement. That's the human experience. The human experience is about trying and learning and then just keep going, right? That was a huge mindset shift for me and is something that I really credit to Chad. Initially, as he and I started talking months ago, we had that conversation. It's okay if things don't work out how I expect them to. It just is. Then I learn and I have a new skill set and I'm that much better. So just let yourself have that opportunity to try and to learn.
In my experience, a lot of the hesitation to go after goals comes from the people that we surround ourselves with. And we've talked a lot about this as far as surrounding ourselves with like-minded people and surrounding ourselves with people that are going to build us up. And I think that that's where a lot of the hesitation comes from, is because we don't want to disappoint other people. We don't want to put ourselves in a position that might expose our weaknesses, right? But once again, we want to give you permission to expose your weaknesses, because everyone's got them. Everyone's got their weaknesses, and the only way that you can improve and really succeed is by, first of all, recognizing your weak spots, and not just in yourself, but in your processes, in your daily habits, in the things that you do every day. I mean, there's going to be points where we're not experts. We're not experts at everything, and you can only become good at it if you expose yourself. And so don't worry so much about what other people are going to think of you. Don't worry so much about what things might be exposed from your efforts in trying to accomplish something.
Okay, so let's recap now. The 3 steps to making a decision, because you're about to make the decision right now if you haven't already. First, clarity comes once you start acting. Second, focus on the future of what you can accomplish, not based on your past. And third, every attempt leads to learning, even if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to. Don't let the fear of what others will think hold you back, because even if it doesn't go as planned, you're going to learn and be that much better. So now it's time. We had you focus on something that you wanted to have happen in your life. Now you just have to decide. If you haven't over the past 20 minutes or so, you've got about 10 seconds. Okay, seriously, whatever it is that you've been tossing around, just decide to go for it. Decide to try, because the clarity is going to come as you start acting. Your success is not based on your past performance, because you are future focused. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly how it is, you will be better because of making this decision.
It's game time. I mean, this is the day that you have the opportunity to make that decision. No other day. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed next week. You're not guaranteed next month. So stop using that as an excuse that one day it'll happen, because today is the only day that you have. And right now is the moment that you need to decide to make that decision. Make that decision. It's okay. And start acting. Start taking those few steps forward, and you will see amazing things happen.
So here's the deal. We're generous. So we're giving you 3 days to take the first step towards whatever it is you're trying to get. 3 days. So from right now, 72 hours to take the first step, okay? Because we recognize you need to plan things out a little bit, and today might not be ideal, tomorrow might not be ideal, but holy crap, take action. 3 days, okay? And then I want you to tell us about it. Go to Facebook, post it in the Habit Hacked Facebook group. If this is something super personal that you don't feel like sharing with the entire group, send us a personal email. Our email address is chad@habithacked.com or alex@habithacked.com. Send us a simple little email to let us know that you did this, okay? You need to have some accountability with this, because if you don't, you're just going to keep spinning your wheels in your own head and you're not going to go anywhere. 3 days to make the first step happen.
And you have our 100% support. We are here to support you, and we want to be that foundation for you to be able to talk to us about, to share your ideas, and we'll help you in any way that we can. One way that we do want to help you and that we've already created is that goals worksheet that we've discussed. That is a step-by-step process that you will be able to use with any goal that you have that will ensure that you're able to keep moving forward. It'll give you the step-by-steps like we've talked about, and you can get that at habithack.com/goals, and that'll be a big resource for you there.
Yeah, and that's why we're giving you 3 days, because it may take a day to fill that out, and then maybe you have to set some things into place. 3 days is super generous, you guys, okay? Just do it. Just do it. Go get the goals worksheet, habithack.com/goals. And within 72 hours, go take that first step. Stop thinking about it, okay? Just make the decision. Make it.
And we are so excited for you. Visualize what your life is going to be.
Yeah, you can totally do this, okay? We have confidence in you. Have confidence in yourself and the ability that you have to make a decision, okay? You've got this. You really do. It's worked out for Chad and I, okay? Even if this hasn't turned out exactly how we thought it would, I'm going to tell you, it turned out way better than I ever expected. And now we have clarity with what our next step is. Now we are focused on the future. And because of that, every day is so much more engaging and fulfilling. And now guess what? If this doesn't turn out the way we expect it to, we are so much further ahead than if we had just been spinning our wheels for the past 2 months thinking about starting a podcast. It is so worth it to just make the choice and start acting.
And remember, life rewards those that move. That's the one thing that I remind myself of every day. Life rewards those that move. They don't reward education. Life doesn't reward the smartest or the most attractive or the person with the most money. Life rewards those that move. Be the person that moves. Be the change that you want to see in your life. If you've liked this episode and what we've shared, feel free to drop by iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. We would greatly appreciate it. It's something that allows more people to connect with us and to receive our message. So feel free to reach out to iTunes and leave us that rating and review. Also, to get the full show notes from the things that we've discussed and to recap on this episode, visit www.habithacked.com/episode 8.
Thank you so much for listening, you guys. Seriously, we're really excited to hear what you come up with. And we'll catch you next time on the Habit Hacked Podcast.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Habit Hacked Podcast. Now stop sitting there and go leverage the last half hour of your life by taking action. Show up in the community online and tell us what stood out from the episode and what you'll do as a result. Now, go get it.